The 5.0 video, please have this sheet out as you're going through it. We're going to break the 5.0 video into two parts. First, we're going to talk about factor by grouping, and then we're going to talk about how to factor when A is not 1 by grouping. So we're just going to do the grouping. The grouping is going to be set up for you to start with. So before we get started, let's go to warm up. Example 1, x squared minus 9 with factor to be x plus 3, x minus 3. And then we look at example 2. And this is going to be the key to today's lesson. Is you have these two terms. Here's one side, here's the other, because we're adding terms of what we add together. Notice they both have an x plus 3 in them. Okay, so they both have this x plus 3 that I can pull out. And when I pull that out, what I have left here is an x, and what I have left here is a 3. And what you'll notice is, once again, if I multiply this out, I can get this back, because x times this, here we go. And then I do 3 times all of this. Here you go. Right, so that's how you factor something like this. So now you've seen this example. Let's say you didn't know how to do this, but you saw this example. Go to problems 1 and 2 in your lesson and see if you can figure out how to factor these out. So go ahead, pause the video, and see if you can do these two examples in your packet. All right. So if you look at example 1, notice how they both have an x minus 2 in common. I could take this out of both of these terms. When I do that, what I'm left here is I'm left with this 5x. Over here, I'm left with this plus 3. There you go. All right, move on to example 2. Once again, do it on your own. Okay, then unpause the video. You can check your answer. All right, here we got, say they both have this x plus 3 that I can factor out. So I take out the x plus 3. What I have left here is I have a 2x. Over here, I have this minus 5. So this is now my factored form. Now, when we look on to example 3, this is sort of like we're going backwards. We're taking the very last step, and then we're going backwards to the middle step, and then we go to the first step. So this is how what you would do in the end to factor something like this. Let's go a step before that. How do we get this form? Okay, so we're going to back up. And as we look at 3 and 4, what we're going to do is talk about factoring by grouping now. Factoring by grouping is what you'll do is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to underline the first two terms, and then you underline the last two terms. And you look and say, all right, what can I factor out of the first two terms? So they both have an x in them. So I can factor out an x. So I take an x out of this, I still want f. And a lot of times people want to say this is 0. But if I put 0, x times x gives me x squared, but x times what would give me x? So make sure you put a 1 there. Don't put a 0. So I factored out an x out of the first two terms. If you look at these next two terms, see how they both have a negative 2? So I can take a negative 2 out of both. Now, if you want, you could put plus negative 2, or you could put minus 2. But realize, if I divide this by negative 2, negative divided by negative is going to make this a positive. And then negative 2 divided by negative 2 will make this a positive. Now, you'll notice, just like in our previous examples, see how they both have the same thing in x plus 1 in each of these terms? So now I can take an x plus 1 out of both. And what I have left here is I have an x. Over here I have a plus negative 2 or minus 2. So this is taking something like this and I factored it by grouping. Here's what it factors to be. All right, you have 4, 5, and 6 to do. And once again, if you need to look at another example, I'll put them in here. You can go back and you can pause and then come back and do these. Check your answers as I put the answers up. All right, number 4. Step 1, underline the first two terms, underline the second two terms. Now I look at the first two terms. What can I factor out of both these? They both have an x. That's it. This is left with an x. This I have left a 3. Now look at the next two terms. These both have a 5 in them. So I can take out a 5, a positive 5. So when I do that, I get an x here. I have a 3 here. Oh, look at this. They both have x plus 3's left. So how does this factor? I take the x plus 3 out of both of these. Here I have an x left over. Here I have a 5 left over. All right, so that's how I take something and factor it by grouping. All right, let's do these next two problems, and that'll end the first part of the video. So number 5 is 2x squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 6. All right, I'm gonna actually do number 6. I'm not gonna do, do number 5. And then, I'm not gonna put 6 on the video, but I'm gonna go around and you need to show me number 6 done on your own. All right, so you should pause the video, you should have done these. So first step, underline the first 2 terms, underline the second 2 terms. All right, so these 2 terms both have just an x I can take out. When I do that, I still have this 2 and an x here. Over here, I have this 3. All right, next 2 terms. Well, the only thing I can take out is a 2, and that's going to be a negative 2. So negative divided by negative will let me have a positive 2. One of the biggest mistakes people make here is they want to put a minus 3. But realize, what do I multiply negative 2 by to get negative 6? By a positive 3. You always want to think that. If I multiply these 2, I get here. Multiply these 2, I get negative 6. Oh, look. We have a 2x plus 3 in common for both of these. So I can take those out. What am I left with on this? An x. And what am I left with here? A minus 2. So that is factoring by grouping. And once again, make sure you get problem 6 initialed by me, and then you're going to move on to the second video. Because now we're going to say, all right, well, how do we get this? So once again, we worked our way backwards. I showed you this. Then we looked at this. Now we got to go one step forward. What's the step before this?